This is going to be most likely a disjointed, um, random video, although I have a subject matter in mind. I, uh, I've been doing Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations, not a heck of a lot, but almost every day for, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. I have had a few things happen right after I put my all into several meditations. The second wildest one was actually the one I enjoyed the most. I did. It was a meditation that I'd found online that wasn't probably supposed to be released to the public, and it was about 2 hours long. The second time I did it was my favorite, and I did not feel good before I did it. I felt horrible-ish, you know, knowing you're supposed to feel better, but you don't, supposed to, quote, supposed to. I did the meditation, and I felt vastly different after the meditation. I felt pretty wonderful. Not as wonderful as I ever remember feeling, but memories are false. You got to live now. Not that I do that consciously all the time. I get distracted, especially by the phone. I just felt wonderful. Not over the top, manic, or oh geez, just like, oh yes, this is wonderful. I feel good. My thoughts were good. They didn't exist for many seconds at a time if I didn't want them to. I felt peaceful. Everything that was coming into my sensory array was pleasing or neutral, to like the personality matrix or whatever you want to call it. It just felt really good. The first time I did that meditation, I think it's something, the meditation, something synchronicities. Syncing up to synchronicities or something like that. I usually do blessing of the energy centers, or just meditate on my own with hopefully a kind of a blank mind. But the first time I did it, this wasn't my favorite thing that happened afterwards. But I went to a store to get a few things. And there were other synchronicities happening, I guess. I don't know. I felt pretty good. If there were synchronicities, they were overshadowed by, this one. I saw a little boy, about 10 years old, in the line at the store. And I was at the self-checkout, and he was with an older lady. He didn't look too spectacularly happy, but he was bagging stuff up. He looked almost exactly, in certain ways exactly, like me when I was that age, 10 or so. So much so that I was like, wait, did I accidentally have a kid? He had a light shining in my face, and his glasses were not clean, and I don't know, blinking around. I wanted to take him home and give him all my Ghostbusters toys and give him knowledge, because I thought, wow, that's got to be my kid, but I knew it wasn't. He even had the same haircut that I often had. He had a little more of an overbite than I did. but I felt this connection with him. Maybe because I was paying so much attention to him because he looked so much like me. I wanted to tell him it was going to be okay and everything, whether, it is or not. But you don't do that. You don't walk up to random kids and be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Unless there's some kind of emergency, I guess. I don't have kids of my own. I don't really want kids of my own. Sometimes I ask myself if I'm missing out. But the Dispenza meditation, I feel like, is responsible for that. I'm responsible for it. The universe, whatever you want to call it, is responsible for it. I have this way of I try to explain things and then I get all these points and I end up going around. This is how it is right now. I'll refine my storytelling techniques as I go, but this is just going how it's going. And that was an extreme synchronicity. And I think that, I just moved here from a place that I lived for a while. And I've been living like I had when I was a teenager and a kid. In a certain way, you can keep that up and it's sustainable. In certain ways, it's not. Those states outlasted their welcome, but I broke out of it. I moved. I'm living like, let's just say, an adult, a nerdy adult. And the kid that I saw, I think, was like a representation of saying goodbye to my non-helpful childhood ways. I've always been pretty mature, even as a child. But it's like when I was a kid, I was more mature for my age in certain ways. And when I was an adult, I was always I've been less mature than I should be in a lot of ways. The Dispenza meditations are hard for me to do, it seems like. I don't do them every day. I would like to do them every day. It's hard to sit with them. I feel like I'm thinking the whole time. Thoughts don't come up the whole time, but I'm just going to keep doing them. Any is better than none. Dr. Joe says that there's no such thing as a bad meditation. I tend to agree. And it's about sitting with yourself and getting clear and following through with that clearness that you're going to sit there and do the thing no matter what the outcome is. Sometimes I don't make it till the very end. Body, quote, has had enough and gets up, quote, had enough. It's fine to sit there. But it wants to get up and have coffee or do push-ups or scroll. Even do things that are really, beneficial, chores and stuff you got to do. I've been really bothered by lists of things to do. And I really know that they'll get done and it's fine, but there's still this worry. Now, Dispenza meditation is what I've done so far, worth it. The next subject is semen retention. Easy Peasy Method was something that worked for me. Kind of like unexpectedly after I was like, who knows if I'll ever be able to quit doing this goofy stuff. It's called the Easy Peasy Method. You could find several versions on YouTube. Just look it up. So there's the big monster and the little monster. You kill both of them, you're good. And it's going to be easy peasy. I believed it would work, and I listened to the books, like audio books being read over and over again. There's a book called, Alan Carr wrote this book called The Easy Way to Quit Smoking, or something similar. I don't know exactly the title. The Easy Peasy Method, or the Easy Peasy Way to Quit Porn, or one of the videos says the Easy Way. And it's authored by this guy named Alan Carr originally for cigarette smoking. Then somebody hack authored it to make it for porn, and they read it. The guy sounds like Darth Vader. It's pretty cool. And then there's a more detailed version, slightly more updated, that is a hack author squared. So he took the hack author's work and refined it even more. I hope that that's correct. The point is that, what's all the point? Whatever. It worked for me after nothing worked. It says to keep doing it. You know, there's the big monster and the little monster, and keep doing it. Don't try to quit right away. Those are the 3 points that I'm taking away right now that I can remember. I didn't research for this video or anything. I really just don't have a lot of people to talk to about this stuff. I could talk to people about things, and it's nice, but about the particular things, I'm going to have to go on social media to talk to people, to find people that want to talk about it. So basically the big monster says, oh, come on, no big deal. Let's do it. It'll be fine. Whatever. And you can easily sort of overtake, understand that it's not real, that it's not a good idea to do, the big monster. The little monster is the immediate need that doesn't give a crap about your goals or your state of mind afterwards. It just wants it now. And you're supposed to keep on doing it. Do it as much as you can, pretty much. And notice that you don't enjoy it. And I was like, well, I'm going to quit immediately. Couldn't do it immediately. But every time I couldn't do it and I felt like I was failing, when I did it, I would stop for a second and look around the room and notice that I was getting nothing out of it and that I didn't enjoy it, because that's why you're supposed to keep doing it. As far as this method is concerned, so that you can observe that you don't get anything out of it. Easy peasy method, the easy peasy way to quit dirty movies and stuff. And how it worked for me was, one time I did it, I was done, and then all of a sudden, it had been a while, I don't know how long, but all of a sudden I realized that when I thought about the act of doing it, it was just like, it was gross. It was like, I felt how the drain of energy would be, and it was so unattractive to me that there's pretty much no way that I could do it. And it's been the longest I've gone. At this point, it's been almost 43 days. And I'm sort of losing track of counting the days. What day is it? Oh, I don't know. And then eventually, my curiosity gets me and I want to know. And I'm like, oh, well, 43 days isn't much. It's not enough if you're wanting to go for life, not watching that stuff and doing those actions. But it's longer than I've gone, and I've not had an urge. Everything functions normally. I'm having regular thoughts about intimate things. And it's like when I was a kid, I'm saying my teens and 20s, when I hardly ever watched that stuff and I wasn't into it, if my friends put it on or talked about it, I would leave. And the way that I felt about women was just love and romance in my heart, and everyone was the one. Well, that's another story. Now I feel that way. I think about, those type of intimate interactions here and there, and I feel like a loving feeling, like a whole, more fulfilled feeling. And if it comes up dirty, it's like, ooh, it's gross. It's like thinking about the acrid taste of a cigarette, because I used to smoke cigarettes. Less than any smoker I know, I guess. Well, special me, whatever. But easy peasy method to quit. A prawn worked for me unexpectedly after I sort of gave up. I didn't quit by stopping. I quit by being like, well, this isn't going to work. I guess I'm just going to have to, it's just going to keep happening. And then one day it just ended. I listened to the book. It's about 5 hours long. I listened to it slowly. I read it online. I listened to it at the regular speed, and then I listened to it fast so many times. And then I would pick out sections, and there are affirmations at the end. Realize that the bigger, more expanded, broader, more natural self doesn't want to do that. It's just the quote monsters, a little monster and big monster. Look at this book for those details, because I'm not, wasn't exactly sure what I was going to talk about here. And this thing on my neck, it's not a fashion statement, although when I have my shirt off, I pretend like I'm Doyle from The Misfits. Pretty fun. Turning and popping my neck. I've done a number on it. If I keep it still, it's better. I'm thinking about getting a thing called the Iron Neck, but I want to do the Dispenza meditations too. See if I could just heal it that way. People have healed from so much more as long as they're telling the truth, and I believe they are. There's thousands of testimonials online, like 600 and some on his YouTube channel in one section, and there's more than that in other videos, other playlists of videos. But the thousands of comments in the comment section underneath of those all together, and there's other people that are on their own YouTube channels talking about it and their testimonials. I believe I can heal from it. And sometimes what happens for me is when I manifest something, it's at a practical level. Neville Goddess, Tim Grimes, they have channels about law of assumption. And Neville Goddess says, hey, things aren't hard to do in reality, out in the regular way of relative Newtonian style way of doing things, how she phrases it. I got this new place. I've been manifesting for a long time, it seems like, and it's very close to what I would want for a very long time, but it's going to work for a while for me. Well, what did I do? I went to work at a dishwashing job. The place that I was at was just not working for me, and some aspects of that were just driving me nuts. I said, I can't stand this anymore. I got up. No matter how much money I had, I figured I had enough. I checked this listing on Facebook Marketplace. It was there for a while, and it was still there. I messaged her that I would like to rent the place, and I'm sincere about it. She was getting a lot of people who were like asking if she was single and all this stuff, and I personally am not somebody who wants to have a relationship right now. Even if I did, I wouldn't do that. People are weird, man. You can't just like find your own stuff as it comes, or get it like the way it's meant for you, or try to manipulate reality. It just, I've been like that before, trying to get something. It's just not good. It never works out, and it's freaky and gross for her. I personally just want a place to be. It worked out fast and easy in a practical manner. I go around about, and I gotta work on my being concise. There's a space of silence in between a lot of my words, and I'm just chilling. So that's why there's a pause a lot of times. And the words are just coming out. I'm not really trying to see what I'm going to say. Notes and a little bit of rehearsal would go a long way. But right now, I just spontaneously decided to make a video. Practicality and just going out and doing things can get you what you want. This is my manifestation, my mental manifestation. It looks just like I wanted, with its details that are filled in that I didn't think about. The main details that I wanted are there, and there's extra stuff that is there that's nice. Like I wanted white walls, and these walls are not white. I can't define the color, but I really love the color. One little thing, So practically doing things. I went to the bank, withdrew money, talked to her, drove out, was not creepy. Just don't have it in me right now. A lot of it's because of the SR, and practically got it. Although it is a manifestation of my state of being. So it's both. You mentally do it, mentally rehearse it, become it. Even if you're like wavering and you are in and out of the state that you want to be and you think you're not doing it right. The same with the Dispenza meditations. Just do it. And don't be difficult or don't be hard on yourself. And cut yourself all the slack. And do it as best you can. And build up. You'll get better. Neville Goddess has, her name is Maggie, has fantastical advice. It's wonderful. I mean, some of the stuff doesn't really go together. Like, practically do this. She'll say, all these people saying, oh, they're limitless and this and that. And then on the other hand, Dr. Joe Dispenza saying you're limitless. I think it's both. And you have to do what's good for you and mix it the perfect way for you. And the perfect way is not some magical formula that you can tap into that someone else has already done. It has to like work for you. And what it is for me, I see a spider. What it is for me is that I'm having to find my own way. And anybody watching this will have to do that too. And it just sort of happens, at least for me, when I see what has worked, when I have like a surprise manifestation or whatever. The thing is, every single thing that you've ever experienced is your manifestation. Your creation, or what you have sifted through and picked. If there are infinite parallel dimensions, however that goes. I'm not here to tell you that there are. People say there are, it makes sense to me. But practically, I'm taking actions, and it's difficult to take actions right now at the level that I would like because of the state of my mind, because I haven't fully healed my mind from watching bogus material and doing weird things. So I'm going to make other videos because I really just, it's like a diary that someone else can interact with, people that are interested in this stuff if I properly title the video. I'm not a law of assumption teacher. I'm not a meditation teacher. I am not an SR channel. I'm just talking about what I'm interested in that I think other people would be interested in. I'd like to talk about Ghostbusters and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and that type of stuff too. But really, we just watch the movies and whatever. It's not a channel for that. If this is helpful, great. That's all. I just like to connect with people who have the same interests to get some communication going, because the people in my world, most of them aren't privy to this stuff, and they have their own ways of communicating that I really like. So that's it. Catch you later.